Welcome to Softcore History.
What is up? Welcome to another episode of Softcore History. I am your host for the week, Rob Fox, and I am joined, as always, by my two best friends. At this point, I actually see you guys more than anyone other than my wife and child, so, I mean, pretty much you're like de facto best friends. I don't know if I'd choose it, but I have it. First up is Dan Regester.
It's more like a cellmate.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
But your cellmate becomes your best friend. Or like ask half the guys here.
You get like cabin fever.
And
whenever you become best friends with your hostage is what you're saying.
Stockholm syndrome.
That's, are we prisoners or is one of us a captor?
Dan's got us
like,
locked
are we
in
both
a cage.
Prisoners? Yeah.
Dan's definitely the hostage taker of the group. We are the hostages.
Did you honeypot us with a podcast?
That hot ass.
And
that big donk.
That bubble butt?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That little peach.
It'll get you.
How fuzzy is that peach?
Why don't you come find out?
I'm also joined by Jake Goldman.
Howdy. I do not have a hot little peach like Dan. I wish I did.
Yeah.
But I'm working on it.
You're not.
Did some squats.
I heard you weren't.
I am.
I saw you baking bread.
I baked some fucking
You're
good-ass bread.
working on making it bigger, maybe, but...
I don't want it to be small. I just want it to be different shaped.
Now, for those who are unaware, me and Jake are currently in a, competition of some sorts. Who could be hotter by our 31st birthdays? We share the same birthday week in May.
Okay.
So I'm leaning full in on just guy in his 30s. I'm gonna get a sleeve tat.
Yes.
I'm focusing on kettlebell swings.
Oh, I have a tattoo suggestion for you.
Might do 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu.
Ooh. You already said, aren't you fucking around with Georgia with that?
Yeah, I'm committed with Andrew Craig, so I don't want to disappoint him.
Okay.
So yeah, I got to go eventually. I'm just waiting for him to get back from New York.
I have a tattoo idea for you though, for your sleeve, because you're Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
Go David Carr, Matt Walsh, full douchebag, and get a key row.
Okay.
It's like a frat tat, but for Jesus. Do you know what the key row is?
I like that.
I'm glad you asked me that because I don't.
Okay.
I wasn't going to say anything.
How about a Brock Osweiler tattoo where it's grammatically incorrect?
Okay. Hold on. This is the key row.
Oh, that thing?
Yeah, it's basically what Constantine put on his shield. He saw in a dream and that Jesus was going to help him win a battle to become emperor of Rome.
You know, I already have a dumbass cross on my back.
I know you
right?
have a dumbass Celtic cross.
Yeah.
And you have an actual frat tat.
I do.
So let's put
That's worse.
Let's put A and B together.
Mm-hmm.
Cross frat tat. Crossy Jesus-y frat tat. I know the Celtic thing's not Jesus, but whatever.
Yeah. Litter myself with bad tattoos.
Yes. Based like loosely on your heritage or what you believe or what you associate with.
I can't wait till I actually do like a DNA test and I'm not Irish at all.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the case with a lot of people, maybe even myself, because they just couldn't figure out what. And so they're like, Irish. Yeah, I'm Irish.
So Dan's saying he's going to get really buff. He's already plugging himself into computers and figuring everything out.
Yep, I'm down to like
12%?
11.9%
Ooh,
body fat
11.9.
now.
That's what the picture said. That's right. I rounded up 0.1.
No, it was 12.2, and now I measured again 2 days later, 11.9.
Good. So by the time May rolls around, you'll be non-existent?
I'm going to be
0% body
remember when
fat?
they were like DK Metcalf is 1% body fat? It's like, no, he would be dead.
He wouldn't exist. You would see his organs sticking out of his stomach. Like, you need 3, I think is the number. I don't
want to go any lower than like 9.
At a certain point, you start to look emaciated.
And you lose all your strength.
Yeah. But I will say the tattoo plus muscle idea is good. But what if I just get tattoos of muscles where they should be? And I just get fatter.
So
I thought, that's your only way you can win this because you're so far behind that you should just lean into just getting as fat as humanly possible. You should be obese because like at the end of the day, it's not like a weight loss competition. It's who's hotter, and it's going to be a fan vote. And you're really going to steal the heart of all of our listeners if you just get really fucking obese.
Despite all his hard work, or despite none of his hard work, I guess, he just got bigger. I'm just going for mass. I should just go for mass, acquire mass.
You're going to acquire mass. You're going to really lean into not giving a fuck. And I think that would hit home with our audience.
Dude.
It's more hot to not care.
Who has a more fit body.
It's who's hot.
It's
hotter.
whoever has the hotter aura.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'll have that. I don't give a fuck. Big, handsome gentleman, smoldering fat guy look.
Yeah.
Just like,
Yeah.
It's like, what is that over there? Muffins? You know, that kind of vibe.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I'm really in the, this is very America. I just started like, I'm like, I'm going to beat this guy. And you're like fucking 6 miles ahead of me in a 10-mile race.
Hey, the tortoise wins.
I'm definitely the tortoise right now.
And he would pull some hair shit, to be honest.
He would. If I lay on my back right now, belly up, I look like a tortoise.
I am one bad leg day away from just completely fucking up my vertebrae.
No, dude, what I gotta
Again.
Yeah. I just gotta go to the gym with you one time and be like, you can't squat 600. You
gotta
can't
bully
do it.
me, yeah.
You can't
There's
do
already
it.
a kid there that does
And-
that. My
and
friend
it-
Little John, LJ. He bullies everybody in the gym to lift heavier than they can, so they hurt themselves, and then he's the strongest one at the gym. It's a great philosophy and just strategy all around.
Bullying in general typically works whenever you need
Bullying
it to.
does work.
Yeah, it's a noted scientific thing that bullying works. They call it trauma now, but back in my day, it was called that kid is so scarred he doesn't do weird shit anymore.
How do you think I stopped being such a queer? I got bullied,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, quit being so queer.
Stop being so straight, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna come over there and kiss you right now.
Nuh-uh. Because a guy beat me up in 4th grade.
I'm gonna beat you up if you don't kiss me right
And I
now.
don't do that. Oh,
Whoa,
fuck.
yeah.
That's actually the world we're in now. Kiss me, I'll kick the shit out of you.
Cisgender bullying?
I just want everyone to like me. I'll kiss whoever I need to kiss.
I want you to kiss me like a man, though.
What does that mean?
Rob's never kissed anyone like a man in his entire life.
No.
Boy,
You have a dainty kissing mouth, I can tell.
back at marriage counseling. Here we go again. There is actually a picture of me from my wedding where they were like, kiss her on the cheek for like this pose or whatever. And I guess I was like awkwardly, like I wasn't in a good position next to her or like right up next to her. And so I'm like, my head is like reaching out or whatever. And I look like the biggest fucking cuck in the world.
You look like
I'm
you
just
don't enjoy doing it.
No, I look like I enjoy it, but that she just doesn't enjoy me at all.
You look like a turtle,
Like, I'm like-
too
like you-
far on
like you
shore.
asked,
I'm
like you asked permission to kiss her on the
Yeah,
cheek,
like-
and then you hesitantly went for it.
Yes, that's what.
Okay,
It's so I can't fucking look at it. It's actually hanging in our house too.
she did that on purpose.
It's not ideal. Yeah, she remind me
she
what's
was
going
like,
on.
yeah.
It's not good. Anyone
Why
who's-
is that? Any woman you date, she'll always frame or post the photos that make you look the worst.
But they probably look great on it.
that's how they.
I do the
women-
same thing.
women-
I'm not
women-
going to, throw any stones from this glass house
Yes, let's say.
because it doesn't matter how Kylie looks in the photos. If I look great,
I'm pretty
It's
sure
going
you've
on the
cut
gram.
Kylie
Right.
out of photos.
oh, I have.
Yeah.
One of the photos, her eyes were closed,
What you should start doing to Kylie, by the way,
but I look fantastic.
when you cut her out of the photos, is keep as much of her in as you can until the face gets cut off. Do you know what I mean? So
Right.
like a lot of times when you cut a photo out like that, it's just like, oh, I just need to get my body in there. Leave as much of it as you can in, and just like the pixel that becomes her, like the first pixel of her face, that's where the cutoff line
yeah, that's a
is.
classic Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively
Yeah.
birthday joke that he always does every year. He's just like, "Happy birthday to my wife," and it's just he cuts out his Blake Lively's face.
Yeah. Which I don't know why, because I would never stop reminding people that I was married to Blake Lively.
He was also married to Scarlett Johansson at one
I
point.
know, yeah.
Yeah.
He's on he is the perfect man.
Yes.
Can you imagine going from Ryan Reynolds to Colin Jost?
Oh, there is Jost.
Jost, yeah.
There is one thing that sucks about Ryan Reynolds I wanted to get to really quick.
He's Canadian.
Fuck Canadians. Fuck Canada. Fuck every Canadian YouTuber who said I had a God complex in the comment. There's some really good Canadian hate comments.
Yeah, Joel, I don't know if you're aware of this. I guess our softcore history episode on Leo Major made the rounds in Canada on YouTube
Big
somehow.
time.
More so than our usual, 12 people that watch on YouTube. And they're correcting some things that I said about Leo
Dude,
Major.
That
They were-
is a Canadian sacred cow.
I guess you cannot attack Leo Major.
Yeah.
Because we said he committed war crimes.
Which
but-
he did.
He did commit war crimes. Like, you can't surrender and then kill a bunch of people.
yeah, there might be a price on our heads.
And
In
look,
Canada, what are they going
Up
to do?
north.
I'm just going to say this, and I don't have any proof, but it just feels right based on all the intense research we did on Leo Major. Probably there aren't a lot of people who know more about Leo Major than us, I would say, at this point, after doing an episode on him. And I think based on my own genius intuition and all the research we did, that Leo Major likely molested at least 100 children in his lifetime.
Maybe not.
Allegedly, from you.
Allegedly likely.
Allegedly likely native children, probably.
Well, that's Canada. That's Canada's fucking
That's their
bag.
skeletons, yeah.
So
Yeah, they
look,
get a real free pass on that whole First Nation thing.
Yeah, it was Trudeau's dad.
yeah,
Not that long ago.
yeah. So anyway, Canada can suck it.
Unless you actually like us and you're from
then you're
Canada.
great.
If you're,
Yeah,
kind
then
of
you're
like
cool.
if
No,
you've been
no,
a ride
no.
or die with us for a while now, because we've had some of you.
Yeah,
Some
I'm
Canadian
actually talking about the
folk that have been fans since our Grand X days.
There's like 10 people that wrote like paragraphs on YouTube. The
It's
rest,
people that have never heard of
right.
us.
The rest of Canada's fine.
Oh,
Which
they
is
heard,
fair, because I've never heard of me
Oh,
either.
my hero, Leo Major. He's not a war criminal. Like, then they go and write a fucking 5-paragraph essay because that's the only format they know in Canada.
They were Nazis. I don't care that he did it.
Yeah, Leo Major was awesome.
Yeah,
He was dope.
we are fine with that war crime.
Yeah,
But, like,
I'm just
you're-
saying, technically,
you're making us
look,
turn on him.
Look, it's he was on my team technically. Okay, I can acknowledge when a player on my team commits pass interference but gets away with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You're like, hey,
Oh, that was like I can
Them's
be
the
like,
breaks.
oh, that was PI, but I'll take it.
sometimes the way it goes. Ref don't see everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Come
where
on.
I'm at with
Yeah.
that.
Ref doesn't see every
That's
war
where I'm at with
crime.
that.
Come on, man.
It's
You got a
just funny.
freebie.
It's
yeah.
funny.
It's okay.
But anyway, like and subscribe if you haven't. Share it with your friends. That's the best way to grow.
Hightower Sean just texted me. He said Trudeau's real dad is Fidel Castro. He really wanted to make sure that got into the episode.
Yeah.
So, again, you got to work on your set for the Chuckle Hut when you do open mic.
God damn it.
So-
It's not really landing.
Is hold on. It's Fidel Castro.
That's like a meme.
That's the text he sent me.
That's like a.
I read it word for word. So, again, not my joke.
I don't know. Maybe
Is he a lizard too?
I will separate myself from Sean's joke the way we're going to separate ourselves from Leo Major.
Yeah. But anyway, like and subscribe, share it with your friends, all that fun stuff. Leave a review if you haven't. That helps us jump up the charts. We've been ranking for like a shit ton of time now, but it helps us get higher and higher.
Yeah, and if you did leave a review and you just redo it, it goes up to the top again, because the guy that said we rip off last podcast from the left another review. It's the same guy.
What?
He said the same thing.
No, he said same title,
Oh,
different review.
Oh.
But it launches you to the top.
that's awesome.
So, no, because he gave us 3 stars because he thinks we ripped off a podcast of 3 white guys.
Talking
boy.
about things that happened.
Talking about history.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
No, I will say this last podcast is about cults and true crime.
No, I don't really know who they are.
Oh, I'm
Never
big-
heard of them until we did this podcast.
I'm a big fan, but like I don't think in any way, shape, or form we are ripping them off. They
There's
do like
pretty much-
6-part.
Oh,
There's
look,
there's
3
pretty-
dudes rotate.
There's
Yeah.
pretty
Talk
much
about
only
history.
like 2 formats of podcasting.
Yeah, exactly. No,
Like, what do you?
Yeah,
What?
there's that fucking meme of like, oh, every podcast is the same 3 guys.
Right.
Yeah,
And it's
imagine-
the fucking Pixar guys.
Imagine being the first left-handed pitcher in the history of baseball, and then another guy comes up throwing left-handed, and you're
I'd
like,
be pissed.
That guy ripped me off.
That'd be
You only got 2 arms.
be furious.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, let's get into this. Let's get into this fucking topic.
yeah. What's the topic?
Today? We're talking about something really fun. This is a fun one.
Okay.
A lynching.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Pretty cool. But Rob, you're probably rightly asking, what could be funny about a lynching? Those are horrible. And to that, I would say, haha, true. They're not great.
Are you following Sean up
Yeah.
for his open mic?
What if I told you the lynchee was a white guy? And what if I furthermore told you that said white guy was lynched for allegedly being a dirty German spy
Well,
during World War I in America?
Rob, I'd feel a lot better.
Yeah.
I think we all would.
Because,
at
like,
this level.
as long as we avoided a completely different topic.
Yes.
Can you imagine if Rob just was like, no, it's just like run in the middle lynching back in, 30 South.
Right.
1855.
Yeah.
Lynching a white guy is fine. It's like, something's only sad if there's like there's so many white guys that in America that is not sad. It's like if a puppy dies at your house, that's sad because that's the only puppy there.
But if it's on the
dies
side
in
of
a
the
kennel-
road
if it dies in a kennel
in
it's like, well,
Oklahoma, which have you been to Oklahoma? Because there's a dead dog every mile marker.
I'm actually convinced that the term raining cats and dogs comes from someone who drove through Oklahoma because the only explanation for all the dead animals on the side of the road is that it must have rained them.
Oklahoma's a terrible place.
It's awful.
Yeah. Instead of like God sending manna through the sky for the Israelites to
It was
eat.
just hucking dead puppies.
It's like, this is what you deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's, where did they send all the Native Americans? Where
Canada.
did they cry the whole way?
Oklahoma. Yeah, that wasn't very.
It wasn't called the Trail of Fun.
There was actually a line on Yellowstone, on the season finale of Yellowstone.
Was it the Trail of Rears? I've seen a video like that.
I guarantee you that exists on Pornhub somewhere. It's Trail of Rears.
Probably does.
It's a sad story about someone having to, I don't know, fuck butts their way to Oklahoma.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I took this episode off the rails the second it started, so it's fine.
It's your fault.
It's okay.
So-
I'm talking too much.
Anyway.
I'll shut up now.
No, not me. No, not you. So anyway, this guy was lynched for allegedly being a dirty German spy. And I got to say, the word allegedly did some stupendously heavy lifting, even for a lynch mob, who's already working on allegedly pretty hard, usually. If there's even anything alleged.
Oh, so the way you said that, it means... Okay, I'll figure out how you mean that. Are
It
you
means
saying
he
that,
was not a German spy at all.
Yeah, I was going to say, so allegedly is the CYA
Yeah.
word here.
He was German,
Oh, no.
but that's about it.
I like World War I because
World War I is way more interesting than World War II.
there's really no bad guy per se.
There is none.
It's just a bunch, as Jack likes to say, of cousin fuckers fighting their cousins. It's a family feud.
Yeah.
I think Rob said it's inbreds playing meat chess.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it was.
Yeah.
And just maybe kind of like the height of yellow journalism and propaganda against people.
You know,
We're going to get into that today.
you know when you go into a bar in College Town and like 4 kids in the same outfit, like a polo khaki shorts, they're just like, God, I want to fight.
Yeah.
That was World War I.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's 4 frat kids all wanting
They
to
were all
fight,
fucking ready.
ready to fight.
What's funny is when you read stuff like pre-World War I mean, I think it was Bismarck had the quote. It was like another war, like the worst war ever is going to break out and it's going to be over some damn bullshit in the Balkans or something like that. He said that in like the 1870s or 1880s.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, people knew it was coming for a while. They were just like, oh, wait, they're gonna throw down. It's just it's when, not if.
Right.
But anyway, so today we're talking about the lynching of German immigrant Robert Prager, just outside of my hometown of St. Louis, Missouri, in April of 1918, as well as the wild as fuck anti-German sentiment that overtook the U.S. Pretty much overnight. Like as soon as we joined World War I, which I find especially interesting because German immigrants were like pretty high tier on the immigrant list. They were about as white could be. They weren't. There was a fair amount of them were Catholic, but a lot of them weren't Catholic, which was nice. Unlike the dirty Irish and the dirty Italians. And don't get me started on. We didn't really like Slavs or anything either.
Right.
Eastern Europeans.
Now, I have a question.
Yeah.
Our kind of affinity for Nazism in the 30s, is that kind of just like a make good or like a overcorrection of us hating
the other
Germans?
way.
Yeah.
No, I don't think A had much to do with B, and vice versa.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
think that was disconnected.
might have went a little overboard with the German hate in World War I. Now we're Nazis.
So we were just so open to it. We were like, hey, man, whatever you got, Germany.
Yeah.
We're sorry.
No,
No,
you guys
not
are
really.
so efficient.
Yeah. Well,
They were.
They
that
always
was
are,
true
yeah.
before Nazis took over. The Germans are just an industrious people.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so Robert Prager, lynched in 1918. He was born in Dresden in 1888. So he was 30 years old when he died, and immigrated to the U.S. when he was 17. It should be noted that Prager was once sent to juvie in Indiana as a kid for theft. So, like, he had a record. So, like,
Felon.
Yeah.
He sounds kind of
Can't
hot.
own a gun, really.
Sounds kind of hot to me.
Maybe he was
Little
asking.
bad boy.
Maybe he was asking for it. Like,
Honestly, if you ask me, that's the worst thing that ever came out of Dresden.
This guy?
yep.
Yeah.
Worst thing that ever came from or happened in Dresden was him being born.
I was going to say, if he would have stayed in Dresden, I don't know if his fate would have been much better. But, yeah.
That's fair.
So he would have been torn apart by Americans one way or another.
Maybe a quicker death.
Probably.
I don't know about that. Actually, definitely not. Almost certainly not. But we'll get to that. But yeah, he, whatever. He stole a pair of socks when he was a teenager. So I don't know, man. Once you do one thing wrong, you're pretty much irredeemable.
Right.
That is how our prison system works.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fuck you. And
how
just
every prison system
that's
works.
how, like, what happens if something fucked up happens to someone. And they're like, dude, he was in jail like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You steal a loaf of bread, you go to jail for like 20 years, and then you come back as the Count of Monte Cristo.
I think you combined Monte Cristo and Les Mis.
Yes.
I like
Yeah.
Dan's artistic license personally.
Yeah.
You should write that.
So Prager, who was an immigrant, a German immigrant, lynched for being German, turned out he loved America.
Oh, yeah?
He was a big fan. Genuinely loved the United States.
The land of opportunity.
You know what they say? There's no zealot like a convert.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. He was a big-time patriot. When war was finally declared against Germany in 1917, Prager was living in St. Louis, and he was showing out for his new country. He started flying an American flag out of his apartment window, and his landlord was actually pissed off about it. He was like, that's not in the lease, I guess. I don't know what the situation
fire
was.
hazard?
Sounds like the
Yeah.
landlord should have been lynched too.
First off, everything's a fire hazard in 1917.
Yeah, nothing
Life
is
is a
fire-
fire hazard.
Nothing is fire retardant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's a fire hazard now. You see all these fucking apartment fires in New
There
York
has been
and
a couple
Philly
in New York,
recently?
but you know what? Those were probably buildings that
in-
were still there in 1917.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his landlord was like, no, fuck you, told him to stop. Like, that's against your lease or something. And Prager actually reported his landlord to the police for being anti-American.
Well, so he's a narc too?
Yeah, and that was something you could do thanks to the Espionage Act of 1917, which is basically like the Patriot Act if the Patriot Act took cocaine and steroids.
Thank you, Woodrow Wilson.
Yep.
Sick.
To be fair, all of Congress voted for it too. Like, it was extreme.
Yeah.
Even the Patriot Act had more pushback than the Espionage Act of 1917.
Yeah, dude, they're sending telegrams to Mexico, okay?
We'll get to that. We'll talk about that. Prager also registered for the draft as soon as he could, even though he wasn't a citizen, and attempted to join the U.S. Navy. He even dutifully reported his status as an enemy alien, which was a box I guess you had to check if you were a German in 1917.
Wow.
So self-hating German.
Yeah, because he was a German immigrant. He had nothing to hide. He loved America.
Yeah, this sounds a little sus. The day the war starts, you start, or not war starts, but your country joins in.
Sounds like he's hiding in plain sight.
Yeah. Oh, I'm hanging my flag up.
No,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
100% sincere. He loved America.
I know, I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
Nah, I'm still skeptical.
You're not buying it?
Not
Sus.
yet.
It's sus.
You have to sell me.
104 years later, we figure out he was actually a spy. The day after Woodrow Wilson's official entrance into the war speech, in which he declared, among other things, that Americans should not be anti-German because we were at war with the Kaiser and the Germans weren't their government. These were all things he said.
Us entering World War I was also just not great for us because we were killing it playing both sides.
We weren't really playing both sides.
We were
at all.
playing both sides.
We were like materially only supporting one side the entire time.
No.
You're just fading like literal historic fact at this point.
It's not what I heard. It's not what I learned.
Dan has his own subreddit where he writes his own history and then quotes it back at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like fanfic that he speaks his fan fiction into.
r/r/Dan Fades history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 1991 history.
I don't know what that means. But yeah, so the day of that speech, Prager started the process of becoming a citizen. He was like, boom, I'm getting naturalized. I'm fucking doing this. I don't really know what that entailed back then, but he was doing it. Oh, also, it was if you joined the military and served, you kind of got jumped to the front of the line. That might still be a thing. I'm not sure. But anyway,
I think it should be. If it's not,
Oh, definitely.
yeah. Like
Hell yeah.
If you're gonna go strap up a gun,
The
and
only thing that
go
would
fight for us, man.
The only thing that would make me be like, no, non-citizen shouldn't join, like an immigrant shouldn't join the military is like, if they couldn't speak English. That might
Wow, Rob.
That might feel important.
Wow.
No.
I don't know.
No, because then you could be a wind talker.
They spoke both because they were going from one to the other.
Right, but it was very important for them to not speak
Yeah.
English.
Also, I think, for example, the Russians or Chinese could crack Spanish as opposed to Navajo.
That's
Makes
fair.
sense. Yeah, they don't have a lot of Native American tribes in Russia.
It'd be funny if they couldn't, though. If they
Back
just like
then?
heard
Yeah.
Spanish and they were like, I don't know.
What the fuck
Yeah,
is
it's
this?
So far.
Tired of these
it
gender.
could be anything.
But yeah, so just like after 9/11, when dummies who for sure didn't have the balls to join the military and go fight actual terrorists started fucking with like Sikhs that worked at gas stations.
Oh, dude, that was the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hand up. I didn't join the military when I was 10.
Yeah, I didn't either.
That's on me. I was a fucking coward.
Well, we'll get to how people at this time might have thought you were pathetic for not doing more for your country.
I should have.
I agree. You
Should've
should.
lied
Hand up. I'm saying it right now.
Should have lied about your age.
You didn't do
Yeah,
enough.
I didn't do enough. Didn't play my part.
There were, I mean, like 14, 15-year-olds that got into the U.S. Army in World War I.
Yeah, no, they lied.
Yeah.
It was easy.
That's because everyone was 5'4".
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a lot easier to prove like 14 or like to make 14 look like 18 back then.
I'm pretty sure like clean shaven faces and short haircuts were very in vogue too.
Yeah.
So it was like, you're going to blend in. Dude.
What you couldn't do was pass like 28 for 18 because man, you fell off a cliff looks wise real quick. Like you got
Yeah.
weathered real quick.
Yeah, in those days for sure.
Yeah.
It's like, sir, your face is made of burlap. we can't let you in. We know.
We know what you look like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of people, instead of joining the military or anything like that, did a lot of their patriotic duty by just fucking with German immigrants, of which there were many. In fact, the most common ancestry in the United States is German.
German was almost the official second language of the United States.
In fact, it was World War I that knocked that shit out.
Yeah.
German was the most taught language in schools.
Yeah.
So like nowadays you have Spanish class. Back then it was German, pre-World War I.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get into, so I want to talk a little bit about the environment that allowed Robert Prager to be lynched.
Okay.
Because it's kind of hilarious. In the same way, in like a Al Smith running for president as a Catholic way, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
right.
Where it's just like
it's-
people go goddamn bananas.
It's how just unexcusably horrible, hilarious. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
it. I get you.
No, it's like, how does, well, unlike the Catholic thing, the difference between this and Al Smith, the Catholic running for president, and go listen to that if you haven't. We did an episode on the first Catholic to run for president in America and all the crazy conspiracy shit that was like mainstream about him because Americans didn't trust Catholics. And that was only like 4 years after this.
Didn't
What?
trust Catholics?
Yeah, didn't trust Catholics.
I still don't.
Oh, that's fair.
You both make me on edge constantly.
That's true. That's why you're not having a kid.
Yeah, I don't need that influence. Wait, what?
Pope says you're selfish because.
Oh, that's right. The Pope did say that because I care about my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
Wait, he was actually talking to you. You
said-
have a pet, but not a child?
Yeah, he was talking right at me.
God damn, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
I did see, it was funny. Someone we know, Justin, he tweeted, it's like, man, all these people getting offended at what the Pope said kind of legitimizes his universal, like, judgment or law. Like his
He's
his
infallible.
Like, yeah, it kind of legitimizes that. You know, anytime you get mad at what the Pope says, you're legitimizing
and
something.
he is infallible. And real quick, Jake.
he is.
Jake, I'm going to need to leave you out for a second. Do you want to get Jake to invite us over to his house? And remember, Jake, you're not supposed to be listening.
Oh, no, I'm drinking water.
Cool. And like steal his wife's birth control and like poke holes in condoms if they use those things.
He told us to.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Pope did. I mean,
Yeah, he sent us a personal DM.
yeah. So we're doing
We got to
this.
play our part.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. No, he's going to get Kitty pregnant.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll throw in some like hormonal shit that will make them have like.
Quintuples.
kids, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Let's do that.
Okay.
We're here, Catholics. Let's fucking go.
Let's do our part.
Yeah, goddamn right.
Are you guys done?
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
okay,
done.
cool. No, I was doing some accounting, general money managing. I got some time to catch up on the podcast finances. So thank you for doing that.
But you do that though. Like you're like joking, like, oh, I'm Jewish, but he actually does handle the financial part of the thing.
And it's a terrifying prospect for both of you. We make way more than you think we do.
Woo!
Just kidding. It's less. I pay you out of my pocket.
But so I guess the Catholic thing was sincere in America. Like they legitimately believed it. And this one's a little more fucked up because a lot of it is they just use it as a screen for an excuse to be a dick or fuck over people that they were meaning to fuck over already anyway.
Of course.
Whereas I really do believe that Americans believe that like the Pope was a wizard.
I mean, look at his hat.
Right.
Look at his hat.
Yeah.
You don't dress like that and not get called a wizard.
He does himself no favors.
Yeah.
Not to victim blame here, but he's asking for it being dressed like that.
Yeah. The robes and the pointy hat.
Yeah,
it's fucking
not,
wizard outfit.
It's not great. Now, I will say the hatred of Germany was warranted. Their submarines were sinking civilian American vessels. And then the Zimmermann telegram happened. Do you know what the Zimmermann telegram is?
Oh, man, it rings a bell. I believe
I mentioned it earlier.
It's an intercepted telegram.
Yes.
To Mexico, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they were like, it's so... I understand being angry at another country conspiring against the United States, like for sure, like conspiring to fuck us over. But being angry, like enraged by the actual contents of the Zimmermann telegram seems kind of dumb to me, because what happened is they told Mexico, Germany was like, hey, Mexico, invade America and retake Texas and California and Arizona, New Mexico, all that other stuff. And what Germany said was, you should do that. And you know what? We will be cool with it.
Great.
We won't stop you.
We won't stop. Great. Like there was no way that Germany could materially help Mexico do that at all.
And hey,
they were blockaded in their country.
They have lived up to their word, and guess who's invading our country right now at our borders? And guess who's not stopping them?
The Germans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Mexico's been trying to take over this country one avocado at a time.
God fucking damn it. But no, it is hilarious to me that like that was what got intercepted and really got us into the war, because Mexico, they couldn't even beat the US or even just Texas in a war when they were either the favorite against Texas. They should have beaten Texas.
Remember the Alamo.
Or
I'll pass.
when we were like the U.S. was probably the favorite in the Mexican-American War, but we're fairly evenly matched.
Sure.
In fact, the war, we got stalled. We got stalled in our initial campaign.
Dog, they can't beat us in soccer right now.
That's the saddest thing of all, to be honest, that we've overtaken them in soccer.
With one guy.
Pulisic?
Yeah.
No, we were beating him before Pulisic.
But still.
Yeah. I don't know how Mexico got so bad at soccer. It's fucking wild. But yeah, like Mexico going to invade the U.S. in 1917. Like good fucking luck with that. And by the way, Mexico had no interest in this.
That would be like me telling Leo, your dog,
Yeah.
like, hey, or someone that lives in, that'd be like me telling Rory, hey, Rory, stab your dad. I won't stop you from my house.
Right.
My house that's not near you. I don't live
You're
near
going to feel like a real jerk when that happens in 15 years.
You're the one that's going to teach them.
So? You're the one that put the idea out there.
It's true. I did manifest it by saying the words. But no, I'm saying it's like Germany's across an ocean. Like,
Right.
oh, we
And can't
won't
help at all.
stop. We won't stop you, man.
Yeah.
Like, cool. It's such a nothing burger.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they were doing that, but it seems like, it's just not going to happen.
That's like I'm going to throw this at the wall. Maybe it'll happen.
Yeah. Right.
They just wanted us to be distracted.
Yes.
And not
They
get
wanted
into it.
any amount of resources that we were giving the Allied powers to just stop going to the Allied powers.
Of course.
But yeah, so, regardless of all that, using random immigrants as an outlet for your patriotic rage is a tale as old as time. Do it. Been doing it since the start. We did it in the Revolutionary War.
I was going to say, it's not like, that was like it wasn't that long ago. It was like 3 generations ago.
What?
This?
This?
Yes.
Well, we did it for 9/11 too.
Yeah.
Some of us.
Yeah, because we just keep running back the hits.
Shit don't change.
Oh, man, it really doesn't.
You don't go to an Elton John concert to hear some new things.
No.
No.
Crocodile Rock, motherfucker. Let's
Great
go.
hits.
Rocket Man, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with Billy Joel. That's why they sell at arenas every time, and they play the same songs.
Man, going to a Billy Joel concert, I like Billy Joel, but like, if I really want to pay like $80 cover for a piano bar, because that's pretty much what that is.
Yeah.
It's just a
You're going to hear the people next to you singing more than you're going to hear Billy.
ugh. I know.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
He's a banner in MSG.
That's sick. That's pretty tight.
That is cool.
Like retired, whatever. He doesn't have a number. Well, maybe it is a number of like sold out shows or something.
Yeah.
I forget, but
Yeah, whatever. So anti-German sentiment was being whipped up all over the place in the U.S. at this time, mostly for clout and political gain by people in charge, but also there was some panic from everyone else, from the middle and lower classes. They kind of got actually like a little scared, some of them. Teddy Roosevelt, this didn't help anything, I assume, denounced quote-unquote hyphenated Americanism.
Like German American
Yep.
and Mexican American. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're American or you're not.
Yeah.
You'd be a fucking American. Or get out.
I could see that being like not a anti thing though. Like that was probably a call for unity over division.
Yeah, I didn't read his speech, so I don't know for sure. And I do agree. Like, if you're going to be a citizen here, if you wanted to move here, like, and you're not just on like some visa, like in college or something
Sure.
like that. Like, yeah, we should be your number one, right?
Absolutely.
But you can still like your other shit.
No,
Like,
I mean,
you can
I
still-
would say
you could still put a German flag up on your house if you want, like along with an American flag or stuff. Or you can like Germany. Well, not during World War I. Don't put a German flag up that.
right, that's just asking for it. But what I'm saying is like the people now that are probably like hyphenated Americans,
Right.
they're probably just white people that are just Americans too. They're like, oh, I'm Irish American.
I
it's
mean,
like,
yeah,
nah, but
there's
you're
a
not.
lot
You
of,
weren't born
like-
in Ireland.
There's a lot of like Mexicans and Central Americans and stuff. Or
that's fair.
Cubans, Puerto Ricans who show out for their, obviously Puerto Ricans are Americans, but who show out for their
not in my eyes.
homeland. Oh, really?
Yeah.
You think they're not?
You're not a state.
They're not the 51st state, but in fact just a foreign country that we subsidize.
You're a colony.
I mean, they're not a state.
You're not wrong.
They're not a state. Like that's just a fact.
Yeah.
Like they're not a state.
If you were a state, you'd have sound infrastructure right now after such a disaster.
and whose fault is that?
Fucking idiots.
Not a state. I'm down to make Puerto Rico a state and just like replace something. Like those, I'm down to have them sub in for somebody.
We're 1 in, 1 out now.
Yeah, Hawaii.
America's 1 in, 1 out.
Hawaii can go.
First off, just what? No. We just
Puerto Rico's
Rico
closer.
gets to be second Hawaii.
Right.
Thank you, Joel. That's rad. And anyway, Hawaii's useful. Just combine the Dakotas.
They don't want to be a part of America.
There's a lot of places that are in America that probably don't want to be a part of
All right,
America.
fine.
I actually
Oklahoma, get out.
That's fine. We just have a giant in the middle, like shitty version of a Vatican, like a country within a country.
Yep.
This is like the Vatican of meth. There you go.
Literally.
Yeah.
That way you keep track of everybody in Oklahoma that's crossing the border.
I don't want any Oklahomans to enter the rest of the country.
Right.
I'll give you
We can
that.
put a fence around Oklahoma.
As well, we maybe should.
Maybe
Just
a
make
dome.
No, what was that thing? Somebody, I think it was a George Carlin bit, like make Kansas a prison.
He said like 4 or 5 states in the country that are touching each other, just build a fence around it and make it all a prison.
Yeah.
Like kind of like in Australia, but within our own borders.
Yeah, and then there's like a 15-minute grace period or 15-second grace period where the fences open up, and it's a free-for-all. Who can get out?
Just like what, every hour or something? Or?
No, it's once a year.
Once a year. But we don't, do we tell them?
No.
Yeah, because otherwise they'll just all.
So you would have a bunch of people hanging out right by a fence.
Yeah,
Sounds like recess.
Fence land.
pretty much. So anyway, people were like, fuck hyphenated Americanism, fuck Germans. So they started to erase as much German shit as they could.
Now, are you a hyphenated American, Jake? You took your wife's name, right?
I did not.
Oh, okay. I was under the
You're
impression.
not a Carter Goldman?
I thought you were, yeah.
No, I didn't do
We
that.
all. I thought you did.
I did not take my
I was
wife's
under the
last
impression he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you? You don't have to put on a show for the fans.
No,
at
I
home,
really
like-
didn't do it. I dropped my last name. I'm just a Carter.
So you're just
now.
Carter
I'm just a
now.
Carter.
Oh,
Jake
perfect.
Carter.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No, you guys were close. Yeah, I took my wife's last name. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That, I mean, it just rings better.
I mean, no,
too.
it was so waspy right until the end when I had Goldman, but now it's
Jake Wheeler Carter. That's
no, dude. I'm in like I have
Lord.
country clubs asking me to join.
Yeah, you have absolutely crashed a car with a woman into a river.
Yeah, and then my brothers pulled me out and got me in public office.
Yes.
So
100%.
while you're playing Mr. Carter. Hey, Mr. Carter,
how you doing?
tell me where you been.
I don't know. God,
Around the world, and I'm
Yeah, around the world and I'm back again.
Lil Wayne. Wheezy.
Good Lord. They changed a bunch of German street names all over the country. In Chicago, Lübeck, Frankfurt, and Hamburg streets became Dickens, Charleston, and Shakespeare streets. So they didn't just change them. They were also like, no, we're fucking white Anglo-Saxon Protestant motherfuckers.
Great.
Fuck
I could
Germany.
live in Dickensville
Dickens Street.
or Dickens Street.
Yeah.
I like Charles Dickens.
This is actually the main thing that came from World War I. Probably the most lasting American legacy of World War I is how many German American citizens anglicized their last names,
Oh yeah, for sure.
including, I believe, my own family.
Yeah,
We were Fox, but in German,
So-
Fuchs.
fucks.
Yeah, Fox. We changed it. We anglicized it to Fox,
Right.
Fox, I believe. But that's the same with a ton of basically, if you have if you have an English sounding last name, but you are not
English. Yeah.
of English origin, you're probably German, and you probably changed it.
Yeah.
So actually, another one, I think Weaver is a popular one.
I think Gardner might actually be
Yeah.
one that's pretty common because I know like the last name Baumgartner
Yeah.
is or like Gartner is Gardner
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of people.
Yeah. I'm still Hill people.
You're
Adjacent to a hill.
You are hill adjacent people. That's right.
But Regester is an Irish name, or is it German?
It's German.
Oh, it is German.
Yeah.
So you guys didn't change it.
Maybe. I don't know. It could
You
have
were
been
just
like
Doko angry.
Regester Stein.
Yeah, and by the way, this wasn't because of World War I, but a lot of people try to dunk on Guy Fieri for because his real last name is Ferry, Ferry,
Or Fiete.
Fiati.
and he changed it to Fiedi or whatever. And they were like, oh, he's just trying to sound more Italian and shit. He actually de-anglicized his name.
Yeah.
It was Fiedi, and they at some point to just blend in with America anglicized it, and then he was like, nah, fuck that, I'm going back.
Yeah.
So you can call me Rob Fucks from now on.
Rob Fucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna switch mine from back from Goldman to Baby Eater.
Okay.
Yeah. No, we're
cool.
going back to that. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yes. Jesus Slayer.
Christ Slayer.
Christ Slayer.
Yeah.
Jake Christ Slayer or Jake Wheeler Christ Slayer. Yeah.
It's the Jewish guy making the jokes now, so you can't even leave us a mean review about being anti-Semitic.
It's not it's anti-Semitic against one Jew in particular.
Just you?
No,
Oh.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, also schools stopped teaching German altogether. That was the other thing. It was this, like I said, popular language class, and German teachers were made to take loyalty oaths just in case.
Yeah. It's like you know too much.
Just in case.
Put your hand on the Bible.
Nished.
And some German immigrants were actually even forced to buy war bonds to avoid jail under the Espionage Act.
Jesus, really?
Yeah.
So that's extortion.
Yes.
That's extortion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the city
Got to get those numbers out. Come on.
Gotta pump up those numbers, guys.
The City College in New York continued to teach German courses, but reduced the number of credits that the students could get for them.
So it's like, can you imagine if you were like 3 credits shy from graduating
Right.
and German was your last class? It's like, yeah, you're going to need to take an elective.
Yeah. They were
That's
just
also
like,
more money.
They were just like, we don't like Germany. That's 2 credits now.
Yeah.
I
Whatever.
never understood the people that would take like a gym elective in college for 1 credit. Oh, cool. You're taking bowling? Why?
How
One
long
credit
was the class,
classes?
though? Because I've taken a 1 credit class, but it's only
It's like half the summer.
It's
or
like a-
it's a quarter of the summer.
it's a Well, I didn't take one over the summer, but the ones I took were like a third of the semester.
For any FSU fans listening, I know about recreational walking, by the way. That is a real fucking class that they taught at FSU.
At least you have to actually attend, unlike North Carolina.
You attended and walked a quarter mile around a track and then signed out.
Still not a fictional class.
No.
Like our Tar Heels.
I respect that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, tell me if this sounds familiar.
Okay.
Some words of German origin were even changed, at least temporarily. So sauerkraut became Liberty cabbage.
Okay, freedom fries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, we run it back.
Yeah, dude, we love changing food.
Hamburgers became Liberty sandwiches.
That doesn't
That's
even
so
sound
dumb.
good.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah. Dachshunds, wiener dogs, they became Liberty pups.
That's stupid, too.
We're just really going with this
And
liberty
here's
thing.
my favorite one. I guess at one point the measles were called German measles. So that was changed to Liberty measles.
Wouldn't you keep it German?
I would
measles?
keep it German.
Like, that's
Mrs. Smith, I'm sorry, your child has died of Liberty measles. God bless America.
no, like they should have named everything German. It's like German pox. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. No, they should have named all the bad stuff. It's like, oh, you don't have to pay your taxes. You're paying Germans now. Yeah,
That's kind of how like the Spanish flu came about, right? It started in Kansas, but because Spain was the only country that didn't participate in World War I and was accurately reported in their numbers,
Right. Yeah.
they get boned.
Yeah.
if that's not a lesson that everyone should learn, is never report.
Always lie.
Never report
Always
your
lie.
numbers.
Yeah.
Pat them
Never.
or slash them.
Yep.
Don't say the right one.
One newspaper in Nashville, the Tennessean, which still runs today, tried to take down their rival newspaper by falsely accusing its German-born publisher of being an alien enemy after the war began. So
Yes.
they were like, I'm tired of this other newspaper taking our readers. Let's call the guy a German spy and see if we can get him lynched or something. They tried. They tried to get him thrown in jail just for being German.
Oh, I love fear.
It's great,
Fear's
right?
the best. God, it's so stupid.
It didn't work, but by the way, the Tennessean, again, still in print today, the other one not. In Iowa in 1918, the Babel Proclamation was issued by its governor, and that prohibited the use of all foreign languages in public schools and public places. There were even internment camps for German immigrants
Oh, man.
in Canada. I just want to jump in Canada.
Oh, good. Yeah. We didn't do that.
In Canada had internment camps for its German immigrants.
Way to go, Canada.
Yeah, just to go back to Canada sucking ass.
Yeah, don't ask about World War II or anything, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part, though. There were also several official national organizations founded to police German citizens and anything they deemed anti-American behavior.
Sure.
That included, socialists, a lot of unions, pacifists, and basically anyone who anyone they didn't like.
How do you police a pacifist?
Yeah.
Easily is the answer.
Yeah,
they
right.
do whatever you say, man.
These groups included the National Security League, the Sedition Slammers, the Terrible Threateners,
Okay.
and you guys have heard of the Boy Scouts of America, right?
Yes, I'm familiar. I was
You
in
familiar?
that group.
Yeah, I was in
How
it
far
too.
did you get?
I got to, what's the one right after the first badge you get?
You're a Cub Scout first,
I was a
right?
Cub Scout.
Were you a wee below?
No. I caught on to that trick.
What trick?
I'm sorry. Rule number 1 of Boy Scouts of America, no girls. Second rule, no gays. Come on. Then you graduate to become a weeblo. Yeah, short shorts, singing songs, sewing patches. I see what's up there. I got out
would
quick.
take you more seriously if you didn't join a fraternity in the SEC. Oh, the short shorts were a problem?
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. No, I mean, I loved being paddled in my short shorts in that Victorian mansion. That was so much fun for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had way different college experiences.
Yeah.
That's because you also went to school in Florida, but he went to SEC Florida, and you went to
Trap House, Florida.
chain. I wear a chain, Florida.
It's like, hey, you like bass nectar?
Same.
Yeah. Cool. Let's
We
join
go
a
to
frat.
Ultra. Let's do it.
Two different.
Here's a bid.
Two different Floridas.
Yeah. No, there was that Florida on UF campus.
Do you
too.
like
Country
slinging
club?
drugs and also want to be a DJ?
Country club kitchen.
how many club promoters were in your house out of curiosity?
At least a dozen. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, no. There was at UF there was traditional houses and then South Florida houses.
Yeah.
Everyone in a South Florida house was promoting a club.
Good
There was
Lord.
6 clubs in Gainesville. It's and one of them was a UCF club. It was FUBAR. They opened a second
FUBAR.
location. Yeah.
So many Monday mugs smashed over people's heads.
Dude, UCF had good fights.
Great fights.
Of course
One
they
of the
did.
best fighting.
Look
One
at
of the
him. He's one of the nicer ones, and look how he's dressed. You look like you would get in a fight in a fucking Applebee's parking lot.
Who's to say I haven't?
I can't say that you haven't.
It wasn't Applebee's. It was a Del Taco.
But that's where you do fights.
Okay.
That makes sense.
But
If you get
it was
punched in-
adjacent to the Applebee's right next to
Okay.
it.
If you get punched in the face in a Del Taco parking lot, that's your fault.
Okay, but like it was a fight within like a quarter-mile radius of an Applebee's.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Actually,
Less than quarter.
little known fact: 90% of fights start within a quarter mile of an Applebee's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's scientific.
It's you can't look it up.
Why would you need to?
You don't have to. It's
There's
fact.
two things I need to look up: that Applebee's fight statistic and the divinity of Jesus Christ.
They're both infallible.
Don't need to Google either.
Yeah.
The Pope said that. We're going to shove a Christian in your wife.
Don't what?
Yeah.
You got to phrase that better, bud.
Oh well, it'll be your baby, but we're going to baptize him.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cover all the bases. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But you have to impregnate her inside a Applebee's bathroom?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that how Christians are born or made?
It's how a lot of them are
Yeah.
these days. Applebee's plays a role.
Anytime after 9, of course. Half price apps.
Yeah.
Applebee's on a date night.
2 for $20.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I don't you dare sing that song.
We're
I
not.
can't because our YouTube will get dinged
Yeah.
anyway.
Okay,
so,
good.
Yeah.
Don't demonetize us,
But
please.
Applebee's on a date night is where many a Christian is born these days. Like if you go to a mega church, yeah.
There's an Applebee's in that thing.
They're
I guarantee you there's an Applebee's in a church in America.
yes.
There has to be.
Almost
Well,
certain.
the mega churches that are in the mall are like right next to a TGI Fridays.
No, but some mega churches are the mall.
Yeah. But
So
like
that's-
like half the mall.
Yeah,
It's
I
never
don't,
the
I don't
full mall.
clearly remember Jesus ever going into a church or temple and just getting rid of all the stores. That never happened, right?
No.
Yeah, okay. Just
No.
making sure.
But anyway, so you guys have heard of the Boy Scouts of America, right?
Yes,
the Boy
yes, I have.
Scouts of America. Can I introduce you to a similar organization called the Boy Spies of America?
Yes.
The Boy Spies of America were a children's group organized to do volunteer spying on fellow American citizens and, more importantly, immigrants during World War I.
Doesn't sound like another youth group that started in World War II by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah, sure.
The boys would, among other things, go around their town and stop young men of draft age on the street and demand to see their draft cards.
I would beat the shit out of a child
I was
if
about
they
to
did
say,
that to me.
what a great excuse to shove a 10-year-old in a trash can.
Absolutely.
You don't already? I mean, they come up, they pester you. Oh, I have a little league fundraiser. You want to buy a candy bar? No, nerd. I don't want a Kit Kat.
Make your dad buy them all.
$12 Kit Kat.
Yeah.
$12 like off-brand Kit Kat. It's like they're not selling Toblerones, but they're selling like a shitty Toblerone knockoff.
Is Toblerone not the shitty version?
No.
I don't know.
No, it's
Is
not.
that high-class candy?
Yeah,
It's imported.
yeah, from Switzerland.
It's fine.
Fucking idiot.
You don't like eating triangles?
I don't like chocolate that much.
It's whatever.
Just seems like it scrapes the root of your mouth
It
too much.
hurts. It's
Yeah.
hard chocolate in a big triangle.
That's
It's
what
terrible.
I want out of my pleasures in life.
What an
is
enjoyment.
pain.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a very German Swiss thing, though.
Yeah.
Pleasure is pain. Pain is pleasure.
I mean, if you see the porn that comes out of those places, it
Right.
checks out.
Yeah. Seen a Swiss guy try to sit on one of their mountains. Just start at the top. He didn't get very far.
That's the Great Swiss Challenge.
Yeah.
Just makes the Great American Challenge look like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also reportedly reported anyone who complained about anything in American life. So someone was just like, these goddamn taxes. Or like, I'm tired of this gas shortage. I got to drive 20 miles to work.
Okay. Now, if it was like just people complaining about everyday life with other people they interact with, if they were kind of reporting and kind of narking on people, those people I'd be down with.
Okay.
So like anybody that was complaining about somebody playing their music too loud,
Right.
if they got reported,
Or someone was just like, Mondays.
yes.
Yeah.
Anybody that's trying to talk to you at the water cooler,
Okay.
get
Yeah.
them out of here.
How's your weekend? I got a 10-year-old that's got to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This 10-year-old comes in. They're like, Naaman, show me your registration and give me your papers. The National Security League was another one. They were also weirdos. Aside from their anti-German stuff, they strong-armed schools or tried to strong-arm schools and succeeded in a lot of cases into doing physical education to make America's boys stronger for war. They also opposed women's suffrage because they were afraid that women voting was a part of a wave of effeminacy threatening the nation. Have you heard that before?
Oh, yeah, sure.
America's getting too gay. We're not butch enough anymore.
Yeah, no, that's true. Or, the pussification of America?
Yeah. At this point, I'm convinced that America is not butch enough has been a complaint since literally like 1795.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even before that.
Probably. Yeah. These colonies aren't fucking butch.
They're
tired of this.
I hated all these guys powdered up in their wigs.
Fucking stupid. The NSL, though, lost influence when its leader, Robert McElroy, accused the entire state of Wisconsin of treason.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Because they didn't like his speech enough that he gave at the University of Wisconsin.
That hasn't happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just like, it's all treason. The NSL also formed the first ever PAC in American political history.
Really?
They invented PACs.
Cool. These guys rock.
Yeah, they're fucking great.
Yeah.
They got a ton of congressmen they didn't like defeated in the 1918 midterms by creating a rating system for how well they voted on national defense spending. But the problem was they didn't understand how congressional voting worked and how sometimes they wouldn't vote on something right away because they were trying to get, deals or more, didn't like some of the pork
It's a
in it.
negotiation process.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. So they ended up getting a lot of extremely pro-defense spending people kicked out of office.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's another reason why just everyday run-of-the-mill Americans should just be really making sure, keeping people in check.
Yeah.
Because they know what's happening.
Basically the anti-German sentiment, the war hysteria was used by a ton of people to fuck over people they didn't like, rivals, businesses, unions, etc. Which brings us back
to our boy
Prager. By 1918, Robert Prager had moved across the Mississippi River to Collinsville, Illinois, which is a suburb of St. Louis. Kind of. Like if someone told me they were from Collinsville and they were like, yeah, I'm from St. Louis, I'd be like, you're not. But for these circumstances, that's fine. This is where this German immigrant was living. Super patriot, but German immigrant. The Collinsville Advertiser, the newspaper of the area, wrote in 1917, every German or Austrian in the United States, unless known by years of association to be absolutely loyal, should be treated as a potential spy. So that's where that guy moved. He had been rejected by the Navy for medical reasons. Too German. I guess.
German, yeah.
Too German is a condition.
Too cabbagey. He's got the cabbage breath.
This guy smells like Liberty cabbage.
God, get him out of here.
So he headed over to Collinsville to start working in the coal mines there because the money was good thanks to the war. They're getting like extra money for that shit or whatever. Collinsville was a huge mining town back then. Something like 50% of the men that worked in the mines were in some way or another. 50% of the men there worked in the mines in some way or another. And then most of the government officials, including the cops, had either previously worked in the mines or had like some interest in them. So it was a mining town. They ran shit. They knew it. There was no one to put up a fight against these people and the unions they were in when they wanted to do something. So naturally, Prager attempted to join the United Mine Workers of America, Local 1802, but they didn't let him in. Because apparently he was actually kind of a dick.
The guy that got lynched?
Yeah. Well, a dick can get lynched.
Yeah,
I know.
I got to hear both sides.
Yeah.
Come on, let's drag this man before we hang him.
How was he a dick? I want to know how he was a dick.
He's just a really stubborn, argumentative guy, reportedly. And to be fair, it is a dick move to call the cops on your landlord for the American flag thing.
Man, that's a weird one. Yeah.
And also, he's about to pull a move that, while I don't think it's a dick move, it does, I think, prove that he is argumentative and stubborn. Now, I don't think it's right to not let him in because he's argumentative and stubborn, but their reasoning was that he was argumentative and stubborn, and it seems like that is probably true.
Sure.
It's not right to not let him in because of that. It's just probably true.
I mean, if I had a club and we had things we wanted to do and we had just one guy holding it up every time, I wouldn't like him.
Well, right. The unions ran everything.
Yeah.
And they were never disagreed with, so they didn't want some fucking guy in there maybe disagreeing with them.
No, if you can just steamroll everything you want because you run the town, like why are you going to have a guy that's just putting up a fight?
Right.
No, I mean, it's human nature. It's not like It's not like oh man, like God, this guy, he's the worst. He's German. It's like this guy's gonna fuck up our shit.
Right.
Like we got.
It's just gonna be
our
fucking
hand on the
annoying.
We got
Fuck him.
We got our hand in the jar, man. Like why are we gonna let this guy stop us from taking more out of it?
Or just be annoying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, they said no. They were like, fuck you. And afterwards, because I guess it happened at a meeting, the miners paraded him around town to the local saloons to be like, we didn't let this fucker in.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's really fucked
That's
up.
a strange move.
And then they told him he should leave town.
Anytime a bunch of blue collar people pick me up and parade me around town and then tell me I should leave, I'm going to take that advice. I'm going to take that advice hardcore.
Yeah. I'd probably go.
Yeah. It's like, all right, time to get moving.
Prager did the opposite.
He doubled down.
He bought a second house? Like what?
Not quite that. But he was pissed. And the next day he wrote a letter saying he'd been treated unfairly by the union president and that I have been a union man all times, never once a scab. I am heart and soul for the good of old USA. I am of German birth, of which accident I cannot help.
Wow. I kind of get why people don't like this guy, though. It's trying too hard.
He's posted that letter all over town, at local saloons, in the mines.
He went into the mine?
I guess at the entrance to the mine. At the entrance,
you go down in there.
Just dumped it with a basket.
Yeah, like
It'll make its way down.
Chip some coal
slowly
away.
going
Hit
in.
it behind the coal. Can you imagine there's just like a guy chipping away at coal down there and his little note falls. He's like, God damn it, I've read this thing like 6 times.
Fuck this guy.
This guy
Again,
sucks.
Yeah.
We got to lynch him.
Going back to just the club promotion, you go to your fucking car, and every time you go to a parking lot around UCF, there would just be like 5 flyers stuck to your fucking
Most
windshield.
UCF fucking problem I've ever heard.
And it would rain all the time, especially in the summer.
Oh, and
so that shit would just like melt into your windshield.
Yeah, it's like becomes paper mache, basically. Like you try to hit your wipers, it just smears it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gross.
So he did that, and the miners were fucking pissed. They showed up to his house at 9:45 p.m. Of course, the mines don't empty at like 9, so what they did before that was pregame for a couple hours.
Pregame in the mine with the boys.
Well, not in the mine. They went. They're like, all right, we got to fuck this guy up, but obviously we're gonna get drunk for a couple hours first.
It'd be cool.
We can't break that tradition.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they pregamed in the mine.
There would be. I mean, look, it's 1917. They were probably getting drunk in the mine.
Yeah, get drunk before you go in the mine.
I find I'm having a house built right now, and because I'm very fancy, and I had to go check it the other day. Not that I would know what was going on, but I just had to go look at it. The amount of empty beer bottles left by the laborers around my poured foundation was hilarious. I support it, but it was hilarious.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah, Modelo, Corona, literally just Modelo and Corona.
Yeah,
all over the fucking place.
Sick.
It was great. But anyway, so like we're gonna fuck this guy up. First, the mob demanded Prager leave town. They're outside his house. They're like, you need to get the fuck out of here.
Wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't. Then they demanded he come outside and kiss the American flag to prove he was a patriot.
Well, that seems like something he would do.
And he did. He went out there and he kissed it and he was like, I love America. And they were like, but take off your clothes.
He did it for too long.
Wait. Then they said take off his clothes?
Yeah.
Did he
like,
fuck the flag?
Well, you would think that would be the logical step. They're like, you kissed it, but you kissed it like Rob kissed his wife in that wedding picture.
Yeah.
You need to really prove it. And get naked. And I guess he got naked. I don't know how much of a choice he had.
Right.
So then they wrapped the American flag around him and paraded him through the town. The miners took him past a bunch of local saloons and made him sing patriotic songs the entire time, naked. They were also like yelling at him about like, see? Fucking see? This is why you should love America. America's badass.
All the logic here is just out the window at this point.
It feels like that was maybe the one moment in his life where he didn't think America was probably that cool.
Man, America kind of sucks now.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I'm into America. A bunch of miners from the saloons who were shit-faced at this point went out into the street and started getting in on the show. They took their beer bottles and broke them and threw them in front of Prager's feet so he would have to step on the broken glass.
That's awful.
Yeah, it's actually weird to me that none of these dudes were like, hey, this is like kind of exactly like that explicitly terrible thing that happened to the guy we all worship.
Yeah. Did they get the sponge out? Vinegar sponge?
Yeah.
Did they get a vinegar
Did
sponge?
Prager at least get a rag to wipe his face?
Yes, we're talking about the shit rag.
Was there a Mary Magdalene in this situation?
There was no loving prostitute that I'm aware of.
Yeah. He was too whiny.
Yeah. The mob at its peak reached about 300 people. Finally, the cops showed up and they took Prager into custody for his own safety. They're like, we got to get this fucker in a jail cell.
Right.
Which probably annoyed the cops.
I guess I don't really know much about that, but they got him. They put him in. The mob was still pretty horny for shit though. So they went to the courthouse where the jail was and they demanded to get Prager back. The mayor met them on the steps and was like, no. So they accused him of being pro-German.
That's the move right
You're like,
there.
you know what? You're the German.
Yeah.
Maybe you're the German.
And then he went full Pontius Pilate and wiped his hands clean.
No, not quite, actually. It's much dumber than that. The mayor told the cops to sneak Prager out the back and just get him the fuck out of there. And the cops were like, okay. But it turned out there was not actually a back.
The mayor just assumed there was a back to the courthouse jail?
Right.
Oh, my God.
So in the meantime, the mayor was out front being like, oh, you know what, actually? You guys are totally right. I think he might be a spy, and that's actually why we need to keep him, like, alive so the feds can come question him. And actually, the feds actually already showed up, and they came and got him. So he's gone. You guys should go home. It's totally fine. This guy's, like, totally going to get the justice he deserves, but we got to keep him alive for the info he has and shit, so just go home. And the mob was like, okay, let's check the building then.
Oh, no.
And then the mayor was like, okay, well, there's a back door, so yeah, do whatever you want, you fucking idiots.
When improv goes wrong.
Right.
It's a historical thing that when improv happens in history, people usually die.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So the mob went in and
Still better than going to your run-of-the-mill Tuesday night improv group in Austin.
Mine specifically?
Anybody.
Yeah. No.
Any improv group.
Improv is practice for something else. It is not a career path.
Right.
Unless you're calling mockery.
Pretty much.
Yeah. There's like 4 people that did it.
So they went in there, they found Prager.
Yeah. You mean the guy they were trying to find a back door for? Yeah. Get this, right?
Yeah. I guess the cops just gave up. And they're like, a first floor window's not going to do. So
Yeah.
you just stay in here. They continued parading him, and they took Prager up to Bluff Hill. A couple guys drove over to a nearby shop to get some tar because they were going to tar and feather him, which, by the way, is not lethal. Very painful, not
sometimes lethal.
It is sometimes lethal, yes, but it is not inherently lethal.
Right.
The way a hanging,
Yeah.
for example,
Right. There's a desired outcome for both of those things.
Right,
One is death.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, they couldn't find any tar. So some asshole grabbed some rope from the car and was like, you know what, let's fucking hang him.
Let's just skip it.
Let's just fucking do this.
Less steps.
Yeah.
Less steps.
Let's
Yeah.
fucking go. This actually did not get an enthusiastic response from the crowd. The mob all basically like rubbed the back of their necks and were like, that seems a little extra. That seems like a lot.
I'm trying to shame him.
Yeah,
Not kill him.
I don't know about that. But no one spoke up loud enough, so it just kind of happened.
It's groupthink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one spoke. No one was like, no. Like, look, let's smack him around. But yeah, no, not death.
Yeah. Herd mentality is a real fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You're about to see somebody get hit by a car and you want to say something, but you're like,
Then you don't get to see the car.
it's too late.
right.
Yeah.
Prager was allowed to write a quick note to his parents before being executed.
What did he say?
Randomly, impromptu executed. It read, "Dear parents, I must on this, the 4th day of April, 1918, die. Please pray for me, my dear parents."
Did they try to decode that?
They published it in the paper and were like, look at this German spy.
Yeah. What did it actually mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could have meant anything.
Yeah, they just crowdsourced it, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they were like, he's asking Cuba to invade too.
You take the third letter of every word and it spells Mexico.
I don't
That
think there's
son of a bitch.
I don't think there's an X in that single
Nope.
sentence. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a
According
J though. Mexico.
Yeah, Mexico. According to a local historian in Collinsville, they yanked him on the rope, breaking his neck. Then they yanked him 2 more times. 3 in all.
Just to be sure.
1 for the red, 1 for the white,
One for the blue.
1 for the blue. Literally, that's why they did that.
If you yank it more than twice, you're just playing with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The local newspaper editor, J.O. Monroe, wrote about the lynching soon after. The community is well convinced he was disloyal, which basically means everyone thought he was a fucking spy. So, I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's a very weak.
Fucking great.
That's a very underhanded.
Never forget, by the way,
Yeah.
a lot of people today are like, fucking media, the fucking media. The media, especially, and really what they mean is cable news a lot of times. Yeah, that's their dog shit. Even they are still 100 times better than what it was.
Oh, the yellow journalism and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
oh my God.
Dude, it's bad.
Not saying go watch that shit and take it as fact or anything, but like it was the Wild West in print back then.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't like a... I doubt there was an Associated Press at this point.
There was.
There was?
AP is 19th century.
Is it? Okay, well...
Monroe went on to say, the city does not miss him. The lesson of his death has had a wholesome effect on the Germanists of Collinsville and the rest of the nation. In this day and age, when human life is being sacrificed by the thousands for principle, so he's like, remember the troops. Mm-hmm. Prager's death may be regarded as a cheap price to pay for the silencing of Germanic tongues.
That's insane that
So
was
he
in the
wrote,
paper.
worth it.
No, I mean, that last sentence alone is insane that it ever made it to, like, a local
Right.
newspaper print.
People
Like,
also don't realize back then that, like, especially like local papers, they were such a isolated situation a lot of times that it was basically like somebody's blog.
Yeah, it's a blog for the town you're in.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, town blog, really, yeah. But to be completely frank, that was a message that was self-absolution for the town.
Right.
Like, it wasn't going out to anybody.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just for us, like, hey, don't feel bad about that terrible thing you just did.
The rest of the country was pissed. It made worldwide news. Anyway, no one was convicted of the murder, though they were tried. 10 people were tried, no one convicted. 7 months later, one of the ringleaders of the lynch mob did shoot himself out of guilt.
Good.
Got one.
Yeah, got one back.
Yeah.
Blood for blood.
They drew first blood. Love it.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Man, that sucks for that
That's all
guy.
I got.
So who's the Hitler of this episode?
Hitler? No, not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
Not even Hitler was Hitler yet.
Hitler wasn't even Hitler
Yeah.
yet. The mayor.
The mayor's the Hitler?
The mayor for yes-anding a man to death.
The mayor's more like the Neville Chamberlain, I think. Just kind of incompetent.
Just the Union as a whole, I guess.
Collinsville?
Actually, no, fuck it. The landlord. He
landlord?
started all of this.
Yeah.
Just let him hang the flag up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll probably
Never
just go with the
happens.
lynchers.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Them.
Say the
Yeah,
lynchers
you're
are probably
right.
the Hitler of this
You're
episode.
right.
I'm going to
Yeah.
go with landlord.
Yeah.
Okay, stick with my original.
Okay, because he hated America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did Hitler. Makes sense.
Makes you think.
Yeah. What'd you guys learn today?
You get enough people together, they'll ride for anything.
Lay low. Just chill. Like, don't overdo it if you're a person with a target on your back. Like, don't try to,
Yeah, don't escalate.
Yeah, don't, because that's
When
what
you have an entire
I'm not
mob
trying to
against
victim
you,
blame at
yeah.
all here, but like, dude.
But I kinda am.
He wrote a lot of letters. He drew a lot of attention to himself.
Yeah, I don't know what the Xerox situation was, too. Did he write like 100 letters by hand?
I mean, yeah, if you put them all over town, he had to like, he didn't have a print press.
Copy stuff.
The lesson
I
is to keep your head down.
Just chill.
There's
Hey, my people have done it for millions of years. Thousands, but millions actually.
yeah.
Bloodline.
Have they? Because we keep finding your down heads.
That's your fault.
And doing mean stuff to you.
But we keep staying around. That's right. You can't get us all.
All I'll say is it's really funny to me how, like, this is one of maybe my most shit don't change episode I've ever had in terms of like, oh, all this sounds like now and also 20 years ago. Probably also 60 years ago before I was born.
600 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all sounds the same. All you have to do is swap out the proper nouns for
Yeah.
different proper nouns.
Yeah, it's in-group, out-group.
Yeah.
That is a classic human thing
Yeah.
that we use to identify and ostracize other people.
Yep.
Like it's people naturally compartmentalize things very quickly.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and common hate is a really great motivator.
True, and fear.
Maybe one of the best ones.
And greed.
Yeah.
All of it. Anyway, that's all I got for today.
Yeah, barbecue just got here. That's all I can think about right now. Some Terry Blacks.
Yeah, you give me the wrap it up because you saw meat.
I saw me and we got to go. All
right.
That's it. So obviously follow us on Softcore History on Instagram. Leave a review on iTunes, 5 stars on Spotify as well. And yeah, why don't you wrap it up?
Bye. You're the last line.
I know, but I guess Rob Fox.
Oh, for
Jake
Rob
Goldman.
Fox and Jake Goldman.
I'm Dan Jester and you just got soft served.